Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, I'm talking about the ban list, and more specifically, what I would want for a Master Duel ban list. Now, this is just my wish list and fantasy, and absolutely not something that I expect to happen. If you want to see that, go check out the previous video. But, let's just quickly talk about what I would want for a best of one Master Duel style format. Now, there are a lot of things that in a best of one don't work and do work in a best of three, right? And you can make that argument with the first card, which isn't actually the first card on the list, but the first card that I'm going to talk about, Maxi. Maxi, I think, is arguable to be fine in a best of three format. And the reason for that is because in games 2 and 3, you are able to at least play around it, and you have, again, those games 2 and 3, even if you do get blown out by Max C. However, even with that being said, I would argue against it and say, no, it's just an absolute blowout card. It auto-wins you a lot of games, and you have to immediately start your deck building with 9 cards in your deck. I want to, of course, get rid of that, and the best way to do that is by getting rid of Maxi. Look, Ash Blossom is a nice include just as a generic card, but I like the idea of having the ability to choose between whether you want Maxi or you want Ash Blossom in your deck or not. Right now, you don't really have that option, which is really frustrating. The same thing with Called By, right? Called By is a really good card, but guess what? If you're playing against Flunder, you really don't want to have it, right? There you go. Right? So yeah, ban Maxi, pretty simple there. Next up, we're also going to talk about Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter is just a stupid card. The fact that it is for multiple turns, I think, is the biggest problem. You can do this on your first turn, going first. You can go drop Dimension Shifter, and then do your full combo with like Flunder or Exosister, and then your opponent still has to play under that, which is hilariously obnoxious. So there's that. Anyway, moving on. So, we have ourselves Ava. Ava is absolutely the card that should be banned. This is just a problematic card. I don't really know what else to say. Being able to gain access to any light fairies, not light fairies, level light fairies, specifically gaining access to Diviner as well as Herald of Arclight, or Herald of Orange Light, is Diviner of Herald and Herald of Orange Light are two absolutely insane cards. Getting access to that is stupid. Cybershine has never been used in a good deck. Please just, why is this card a thing? We talked about that one. Fairy Tail Snow has also never been used in a good deck. It's always some degenerate strategy where you banish a whole bunch of cards in order to either gain advantage, like Thunder Dragons or Necro Face shenanigans, as it is right now. But this card honestly came off of the ban list in the TCG for one ban list, and then was promptly put right back into its place because it was a massive problem. It was at 1 in the TCG. 1! This card is stupid and deserves its ban. Next up, we have the 2 Millers from the Ishizu cards. Honestly, I don't care much about them. Just put them to nothing. These are the problems. The Shufflers, I think, are fine. Block Dragon, pretty simple. Harpy's Feather Duster. I do not like blowout cards. This is the biggest one. This card just absolutely wins games by itself. Just drop Harpy's Feather Duster. Your opponent now can't play the game because they set 2 cards in the back row and had a monster that you negated. Oops. Next up, we have Monster Reborn. It does something similar, but honestly, why do we have a generic revival from the graveyard? Yeah, I don't understand this. It's just a sacky card. It's not really used in any decks particularly, except for, like, I guess technically if you were to ban it, you would now turn off, like, a whole bunch of the new Egyptian god support, which I don't care. Foolish Burial is absolutely stupid. Why does this card exist? It's just, like, it's just a free combo starter for, like, so many decks, and has been for a really long time. This card should be banned, along with Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion it's never been used for its proper reasons. I don't know if it has proper reasons. This is just a stupid cost for getting a free monster onto your field. The downsides are not anything at all. It doesn't negate, doesn't do anything useful, just bad. Next up, we have Reasoning. Why is this card available? This card's crazy. It's just a free summon. It's just a free summon. What? And you get to mill a whole bunch of cards. Crazy. On top of that, however, you can still have Monster Gate at 3. I think Monster Gate is much more fairly balanced. But yeah, Reasoning, not at all. Next up, we have Card of Demise. This it's just a plus 3. It's just plus 3. That's all it is. Pot of Prosperity is by far the best pot of card besides Pot of Greed, and even with that being said, is still crazy. At 1, just ban it. I just don't like having it at 1. It feels kind of sacky because you're just like, well, I can't really play around it. Like, I can't play around my opponent having it. And I don't like putting it to 3. I think it's too powerful of a card. I just like banning it. Smoke Grenade, stop stealing my cards. Kaiser Coliseum is just a stupid floodgate that should be banned. It's not even like a good floodgate. It's just like annoying. I don't necessarily hate playing against it. It's just like, why is it there? Go away. Super Poly. Yeah, this card's stupid, especially if we ever get Garura. That card ruins this super polymerization. So yeah, we'll just get rid of it. It's never fun. Emergency Teleport. Why in the world do I just get a free summon of a monster at quick play speed that does not have a hard once per turn? I don't care what type of monster it is. This should not be printed on, or at least allowed on, a modern Yu-Gi-Oh card, which, yeah, stop. Called By. Ban Called By. This card's absolutely stupid, and it's stupid crazy, and I hate it, and it's, if you put it to 1, it becomes just a sacky one-of that you can't play around, which is even more obnoxious, so yeah, just ban it. Similar to why, like, Maxi can't go to 1, it's just a sacky one-of that all of a sudden wins you games, and you can't play around. It's really dumb, and just frustrating. Red Reboot is an auto win against any trap deck. If you play a going second deck, you just slap this down, and your opponent now has all of their back row locked. And then guess what? Since it's quick effect, since it's a counter trap, you can actually respond to something like Judgment. So you go Harpy's Feather Duster, they go Judgment, and then you go, no. Why? We have Rivalry and Goes In on here. These are the two worst offenders when it comes to Floodgates. This is, you'll see the other one. There can be only one on here as well, but that is later. Yeah, just Floodgates are really, really bad in best of 1s. I think in best of 3s, there is a lot that you can do to play around them, and because they do slow down the game most of the time, these two not particularly, but because they kind of slow down the game, it kind of works in a best of 3 when you especially have a side deck to deal with that, but alas, in best of 1, it's awful. Colossus. No. Please let me search my cards. This can be made so very easily, and oftentimes is in degenerate decks. Speaking of degeneracy, Rango Nimiad. Yeah, ban this one. Electromite. I'm giving you... Okay, first of all, no, I don't hate Pendulum. I know a lot of people say that, and no, I hate you because you're so irritating and so annoying. No, I don't hate Pendulum. I love the mechanic. I think that it is very interesting. I think Konami has failed the mechanic intrinsically. I think there is a cool idea behind the mechanic, but this card does the same thing that Electromite, or that Halcofibrex did to Synchro Zoning, where basically you have to play this card. If you're playing a Pendulum deck, you have to play this card. Why? Because it just does everything for basically every archetype ever. Same thing that Halc did, right? I don't say it's as good as Halc, not in the slightest, but I don't like it because it specifically centers everything around this card. Now, because of this, I also want to give Pendulum some stuff back, and you totally can. Like, why the hell is Kieran on the list? Why? Anyway, there's that. And then Verte. Get rid of it. Why is it here? Alright, so I did some shuffling with the Splight cards. I really don't like the semi-limited list, so I put Jet to 1 instead of Starter. So Starter is going to 3, Jet is going to 1. I think it's just a better hit overall. Yeah, having access to multiple jets over the course of turns is, yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm not even a fan of hitting anything from Sprite, besides Elf, I guess. But it's also kind of just too new, and I don't really want to hit Elf until we get Sprinned. So at the moment, Jet's on the list. That's basically it. I just don't like the semi-limited list, so we put it to 1. That's also why Malicious is here. I don't actually think Malicious deserves to be here, but he can't be at 3. Like, he just can't be at 3. He's too powerful at 3. And so instead he goes to 1 because I don't like the semi-limited list and just kind of want to get rid of all of them. I may have missed cards in the semi-limited list, but basically they either go to 1 or 3. There you go. They're moving cards 1 to 3. Get rid of the semi-limited list. It's really bad. Pankratops. Why is this card at 3 in a best of 1? I get that it rarely comes up for a lot of people. This card is just stupid, and it really does help facilitate going second strategies. I think going second strategies are actually really, really strong right now in Master Duel, and just no one plays them because they're not like the new meta decks. Like all of the meta decks that people are coming up with are just like going first decks, and I'm not really smart enough to know how to play second. But like, dinosaurs just play going second because they have Pank at 3. Like that is just how they play. Because why would they go first when you could just kill your opponent with Pank? Pendulums! Kieran can come back to 1. I don't think you could have a critical mass of this card if it is accessible as easily as it is, or at least it was when it was at 3, because of the way that like Magispectors works, or just like this being a big boss monster as itself. This is more of like a, you could have it at 1, maybe it could go to 3, but we're gonna stick with 1 for now. Yeah, Kieran is fine. Same with Monkey Board. Monkey Board is currently at 1 in the TCG, and it's great. I love this. This card being at 1 is fine. It's very cool. I like it. Yeah, totally can go back to 1. No problems. Raigeki, again, just semi-limited list stuff. I'm putting... Okay, Card of Demise I actually banned. We're putting a whole bunch of draw cards on here. Into the Void Chicken Game, Upstart Goblin, all of that stuff. Because FTKs are a massive problem in Best of Ones. Because... well, no, they're just a massive problem, period. But specifically in this, I just want to limit them so that they don't have a whole bunch of options for drawing cards. That tends to be the biggest issue with FTKs. Pot of Desires is an insane card. Why do we have this? It's just draw 2. It just says Pot of Greed. Ignore this part. It's just a hard once per turn Pot of Greed. Because for a lot of decks, that's all it is. Engage should be at 1. The fact that you can go engage into engage is really problematic. Having 1 engage, I think, is totally fine, and I will give Striker some other stuff as well, but I think having multiple engage is really just annoying, more so than anything. Yeah, it's just a bit too problematic at more than 1, and is really just mostly annoying and not fun to play against. I don't necessarily think it's strong. I'm not saying Striker is strong, but I just think it's mostly annoying, and it does lead to some really obnoxious things. And I want to give Striker some other things. I want them to have more playable cards than just engage. So there's that. Mass Change to 2, or Mass Change 2 is just a 1. Same with Anti-Spell Fragrance, as well as There Can Be Only One. These are 2 more problematic Floodgates. I think most of the other Floodgates that are out are fine, but these 2 are problematic, and There Can Be Only One is limited to 1 and not banned because of the fact that it is There Can Be Only One, and it has to go to 1. It's just, thematically, come on, it's gotta go to 1, right? Like, you can't say, put There Can Be Only One at 0. That's not fun. And Toad can come back. But, why do we ban this card? I know why. But, come on! Toad's fine. Leave my froggy boy alone. Alright, and a whole bunch of unlimits. So, first and foremost, yeah, all of the Exodia pieces can come off of the list. Why are they... I know thematically that's why they're there, but also it's so much more funny when you can dump, like, 4 legs into the graveyard and just be like, alright, pick one of the legs for me, and your opponent's just like, oh, okay. Or, no, I'm thinking of with Painful Choice. It's still funny, though, because, honestly, it would just be worse. It'd be more inconsistent having multiple of these. So instead, yeah, you could totally give them that. And then trick newer players into playing 3 of these guys. Cobalt Sparrow is, for some reason, semi-limited. Couldn't tell you why. Same with Gamma. This was limited at 2 since Master Duel came out. I don't know why. I think the reason is because if you go Max C, your opponent goes Ash, you can go Gamma, but like, who cares? We banned Max C, so who cares? Just put this to 3. This is fine. It's totally A-okay. Orphoscopio can go to 3 because it is on the semi-limited list. Same with a lot of these cards. It's just like, yeah, Multi-Figure's fine. Oviraptor's fine. Analyzer with Block Dragon banned, yeah, totally fine. Fractal, why is this card limited? Aluber, sure, yeah, you can go to 3. Dragonhawk. This one, honestly, again, if you ban Grass, if you ban Snow, if you ban, no, just those 2. Thunder Dragons are fine. Oh, we also banned Colossus. That was the other one. Yeah, Thunder Dragons are absolutely fine. It's just Titan Pass. It's just Titan. That's it. Colossus is obviously the problem. You can give every single other Thunder Dragon back, and it's fine. I hate nerfing consistency over actually the problem. Speaking of, long one. Oh, a card I forgot, and why we're now back in the ban section. Protoss. I literally forgot about this until I saw the long one and was like, oh yeah, I forgot to put this card on here. Yeah, it'd be banned. But back to long one. Yeah, this card can go to 3 if Protoss is banned. Here are more Pendulum cards that are for some reason on the list. I really don't know why this one is still limited to 1. Like, what? Pot of Duality, it's fine to go to 3. Psycho's Light, fine to go to 3. Fusion Destiny, fine to go to 3. We banned Verte. Nadir Servant, again, I still don't know why this card is actually on the list at all right now, but sure. Divine Wind, totally fine. Dragonic Diagram, totally fine. Trickstar Light Stage, totally fine. Flunder Map, totally fine. We banned the Barrier Statue. I think that is the most problematic part of the Flunder stuff, so yeah, that's fine. Infernity Launcher. Tenki, again, why is this card limited to 2? Huh? Put it to 1. Put it to 3. I don't care. Just one or the other. Not 1. Or not 2. It's so dumb. Hornet Drones. Here you go, Sky Striker players. Yeah, you can have Hornet Drones to 3. That's totally fine. Same with Kagari. Kagari can go to 3. Engage to 1, I think, is fair if you get these guys back. Crossout Designator is the cool, fair, and balanced version of Called By. Just straight up. Crossout Designator is a very good card where if a hand trap is centralizing or if a strategy is centralizing, this becomes very nice, right? If your deck intrinsically has an issue with Nibiru, you can side in the Crossout Designator, side in the Nibiru, and now you have an out to it. That's super cool, awesome strategy, and it rewards deck building and planning. Now, that's specifically in best of 3s. In best of 1s, it's still way more rewarding to activate Crossout and then hit like a Nibiru that your opponent has, or a Gamma, or a Maxi, well, I guess Maxi is banned, or an Ash or something like that, when you need to, right? It still gives you access to the same amount of interactions that you normally would with the 2 Called By and the 1 Crossout, but now you just have 3 Crossout, which requires you to either play a specific strategy and actually, you know, put cards into your deck that specifically have those or are those outs, or to just not play them. Just not play this card and be like, it's fine, I don't need it. I've seen this more recently be teched in to Branded in the TCG at 3 with Dimensional Barrier. Because Dimensional Barrier is just a card that absolutely hoses Branded, and so, yeah, there's that. This card is great. Love it. Branded Opening. It can go to 3. That's fine. This is also in preparation for tier. I'm basically saying, like, yeah, we're going to hit some cards for tier because we know that they're going to be the best deck. We'll go from there. Same with the Runics. Hey, look, we're banning Floodgates. You can add the Runic stuff. We also limited Jet to 1, so yeah, the Runic stuff should be fine. Yeah, all of the Runics that were semi-limited, I just don't like it. It's one or the other, right? 1 or 3, not 2. So I put them to 3. Same with Starter. That can go to 3. DD Dynamite is on here for some reason. Trickstar Incarnation, Metaverse, Skill Drain. This one is contentious. I am almost 100% certain that most people would be like, why is this card not banned? Skill Drain is one of the few cards that I actually think most players can play around. And there is a lot of very interesting ways that you can interact with this card in particular in terms of a Floodgate. The ones that you can't interact with are the cards that prevent you from summoning monsters, period. This one doesn't do that in any real regard, which is why I'm totally fine with this card existing. I do think that it is annoying, but in a best of 1 where I'm also getting rid of all of the other Floodgates, I think that it is fine. When you just have to deal with this, it's totally fine. When you have to deal with this and Gozen Match, it becomes way more problematic. Now, if they get lucky and happen to draw, there can be only one, then yeah, okay, that's fine. But honestly, this one's fine. Same with Summon Limit. Summon Limit's fine. Summon Limit is like one of the easiest things to play around. Conquistador. He's fine. Omega, I don't know why this card's limited. Same with Trish, Kagari, and Galatea. There you go. That's my wish list. I'm sure I missed something, and you could probably leave your own cards you want banned or unlimited or what have you in the comments. But yeah, I think this is a pretty extensive list and basically gives everything that you might want. So there you go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.